Hey guys, how we doing? Up here in the barn, messing around with the 365. I misspoke on this. I thought I had a 365 special. I remembered the recoil was replaced, and the only one we could find was the one that said 365 special on it. But anyway, I found the original one, and it's just a 365. Air injection had a couple of broken fins. So we threw this recoil on it. Sticker's just about to fall off. But anyway, I also thought that this saw had removable transfer port windows like the 359. It does not. So that's probably a good thing. I know it'd be a little harder to get in there if I want to port it, but I don't have to worry about those screws loosening up and getting any leaks in there. Which you have to worry about with the ones with the windows and the removable screws. So I got my bearings. I got my, I should say, I ordered 2 sets of bearings and 2 sets of seals, and that was for this 365 and my 362 XP. They're both saws that I want to completely tear down and rebuild. The issue with the seals and bearings that I ordered is I ordered 2 kits. They should have been identical. I've got all the correct bearings and all the correct seals, but the gasket kits and the exhaust gasket and I believe the base gaskets, I ended up with 1 kit for a 372 chassis and the other kit for an MS 440. Don't ask me how that happened, but we're in the middle of getting that straightened out now, so I can really only do one at a time anyway. I also got a set of cases here. I just finished doing my son's 257 and I think it came out pretty good, so I got all excited to pull mine out and see what I could do with that. This one is not in nearly as good a shape. The plastics are pretty beat up. I did have it running. It didn't run great, so I knew that saw would eventually have to be ripped down. So anyway, I spent today, I pulled it all apart. Split the cases, pulled all the bearings out, got the seals out and everything, and the cases don't look like they're in too bad a shape. I don't see any cracks or chips or broken or anything like that, just rub on the bottom. So I need to order bearings for that, and I also was trying to find a cylinder and a piston for it because the one that's in it, it's got a score. It's not horrible, but I wanted to see if I could find another cylinder and piston for it. I was able to clean it up for the most part, but I'm not happy with it. But regardless, it still needs a piston either way because the piston was pretty scored. But I just found one. It's an OEM. It's used. Looks like it's in good shape. We'll find out. It should be here in a few days. I wasn't able to find any real aftermarket cylinder for a 257 other than a big bore kit that was like $150 or something like that. And you know, this isn't a real great saw. It's not in the best of shape or anything like that. If I was looking for a cylinder, maybe for the one I just did for my son, and we couldn't find anything and all they had was that big bore kit, I probably would have done that just because his saw is beautiful. This one is not so great, but it's all here. All the parts and pieces are here. It's nothing's damaged or broken other than I need a cylinder and a piston. So hopefully the one that I just ordered will come in and be in good shape, and we can get this one back together. So that's just one more project that I want to do. But that's what I got going on. Yeah, 365 or 362 XP. What do you guys think? Had this one going a couple of years ago. Did a kind of a not so great muffler mod on that. Maybe I'll make some pipes. I love the way a saw sounds with a pipe on it. My father's not a big fan of it because he can't stand the noise, but I like it. I'm always wearing the ears anyway. So the 365, this one was my dad's. 362 is the one I got for traded for doing some work. And yeah, I'm curious just to know what you guys think, which one I should do first. If anybody's got preference on that. I've never run the 362, never really cut anything with it or anything like that, so I'm curious about that saw. I know it's a little bit smaller than the 365, but they got to be pretty close in there. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into the actual specs of either one, but same chassis, same as the 372. So yeah, I got those two going on. The 257, I don't know, I just like this little saw. You know, they don't make a ton of power or anything like that. It's not a powerhouse by any means, but I think my son's is running pretty good. I got that thing running pretty sweet. I do wish that I had a skip tooth chain to put on it for him, because I think it would just run so much better. But that saw seemed to, you know, when it was loaded up in the cut, it seemed to hold the RPM pretty good, but it was dogged down quite a bit. I think a lot of that just had to do with running that full house chain on it. And like you say, that was a completely stock chain, never touched with a file. The rakers hadn't been touched, anything. So I'm not a big fan of the way stock chains cut. My opinion, I don't think any stock chain is real great out of the box. In fact, I find the further you get back on the teeth, the better they seem to cut. And I don't know why. It's just, that's my experience. I don't know if any of you guys experience the same thing with that or not, but I haven't found a chain straight out of the box that I like the way it cuts. Once you get maybe halfway through the chain, it seems to me that's when they really start to cut good. But again, my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about that. So that's what we got going on: 257, 365, 362 XP, and yeah, I'm going to be having fun here redoing all these saws. I think it'll be a lot of fun just to build them from the ground up and, you know, clean them up and stuff like that. These case halves cleaned up pretty good. I mean, for the saw, it's a, you know, I wouldn't say a total junk saw. It's just it's abused. It's used and abused. Cleaned up the handle, not too bad. You know, it's not completely gone by any means. It doesn't leak, so that's a plus. Got that. I haven't cleaned all the parts for it yet. That's the top cover, not in the best of shape, a little melted back. You know, decal's kind of falling off. But I think I'm missing a screw. Anyway, it's not going to be a pretty saw, but hopefully it'll rip pretty good. I'm going to do some of the same stuff that I did to my son's. I'll do a timing advance. One thing I did do to these cases that I did not do to his, because I didn't break the saw down. Let me grab the cylinder and I'll show you. So I'm new to all this, to the porting and stuff like that. So obviously it's about airflow. So what I did was, at the bottom of the transfers, I kind of gave a little lead in where the transfers line up with the case. You could see the witness mark there where it's just a flat shelf. So I have a little bit of theory behind it, thinking that if I cut that out a little bit and get rid of that flat shelf, it may help that. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it may help that charge. That charge from the lower end, you know, kind of slide up into those transfers a little better. Maybe it'll do nothing. I don't know. I'm playing around with it just to see what it'll do. But anyway, I did both of the halves. I may try to match them up a little bit better to the port to see if it makes a difference, but I didn't want to go past where the witness marks were. And this side in particular, I didn't want to go too deep, because obviously I didn't want to cut through. This side is not so bad. There's a lot more meat here. But anyway, I don't know if it's going to make any kind of a difference or not. I just figured I'd try it out. Maybe some of you guys have ported the 257 before and done something like this. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I wanted to see what it would do. So that's what I'm going to do. And, you know, if it blows up, it's just a chainsaw. You know, I'm sure I could find another one. One day I'd like to have one as nice as the one my son has as far as the 257. But for now, I'll play with this one and see what I can get with it. Yeah, this is the cylinder for that. It's got a little score mark in here. I'm not real happy with it. I don't know. It's just, I know it's there. I can just barely feel it with my fingernail, but I don't know how much effect. It's at the bottom of the exhaust port on the bottom side. So the top side was not scored at all. You know, barely even any witness mark there from anything. It was just that lower side of the exhaust port right there. And intake side looks great. No issues there. The piston has some pretty heavy scoring on the exhaust side. You can see the vertical lines in it. I've hit this with a piece of Scotch-Brite just to clean it up, but you know, I could feel those with my finger. They got to be at least a few thousandths deep, whatever. And maybe I could put that back together and it would run and it wouldn't be that bad, but I don't want to reuse that piston. Regardless, it'll need a ring. There's a slight, not a score mark through the ring, but you could tell there's just like a witness of it. You can't even really feel it, but so I'll probably get that other OEM cylinder, and fingers crossed it's in better shape than this one. And it's got a piston with it, but I couldn't, from the pictures, I couldn't really see what kind of shape that was in. So I may have to buy an aftermarket piston, which those I was able to find. So, but I'll definitely get a ring, and we'll see what that other piston looks like. I don't know. I don't know about this cylinder. I'm not convinced that it won't be a problem, but I could be wrong. You know, if any of you guys have saved cylinders like this, that have no scoring above the exhaust port and some below, I don't know. And you've saved them or they've worked. Let me know. Obviously, on the downstroke below the exhaust port, we're shoving the charge up the transfers. I don't know how much of an effect that has on pushing that charge up there, but above the exhaust port, you know, is where all the compression's made. I don't see any issues there, so I don't think that would be a problem. But yeah, let me know. Any of you guys with more experience, please shed some light on this for me to see if I'm thinking wrong or if I could possibly run it. I'm sure if I could not find another one at all, I would have no option, but I'd have to run it. But like you say, I got that other one coming. So yeah, so that's what I got going on. 257, 365, 262 XP, or sorry, 362 XP. Let me know which one of those bigger saws I should do first. I'm really curious to know what you guys think. So yeah, I'll cut this off now. Thank you very much.